Hello, welcome back to Here We Tow. Today, Jules and I are at Hawes Caravan and Motorhome Club site and we're here to review this. This is the SWIFT CARRERA 144 campervan and it's the new 2026 model. And as you can see, we've got a beautiful backdrop for it here in the Yorkshire Dales. But let's not detract from the campervan itself. Let's fire in and find out what we need to know about the SWIFT CARRERA range. As I've just mentioned, this is the new 2026 model and I'll point out a couple of the new features as we go around. Now the Carerra range of campervans, there's actually 6 different models in the range, ranging from 2 to 4 berths. This one here is a 3 berth. Now all the Carreras, including the 144, is based on the Fiat Ducato and it is a panel van campervan. It will come with a 2.2 litre diesel engine, 140 horsepower and manual transmission as standard. Automatic is available as an option and this one here is spec'd with that. Now in terms of size, the 144 is 6 metres in length. There's other lengths available within the range. In terms of width, the Carerra is 2 metres and 26 centimetres wide, and in terms of weight, it has a gross vehicle weight of 3.5 tonnes or 3,500 kilos, so you can drive it on your car licence. This one has 4 travel seats and, as I've already said, 3 berths. Price-wise, prices for this are £77,590. The automatic is an option and also an awning is an option. We haven't got that fitted on this one. So on the exterior, the new paintwork for 2026 is the Artense Grey. It's a silver colour. I'd call it silver, I'm sure you would as well. All the Carreras will come in this colour. Let's make our way around and find out what we're going to get in the base price, because the level of equipment is fairly sound for the campervan and there's only those 2 options. So let's go from here at the front. As I've already told you, based on the Fiat Ducato, you will see the Carerra badge on here and the styling with the graphics, the Swift badge as well here at the front, and then the black gloss finish. I do apologise that the campervan is absolutely filthy. Jules and I drove here yesterday in great Yorkshire Dales weather. Up there at the front there's a large sunroof, we'll see that when we go inside, the Swift name badge, and there are a number of Fiat safety features as well. Coming down, the Fiat alloy wheels in the black, and then you will find obviously a passenger door and a driver's door as well. This here is an external shower point. Up on the roof you will get an aerial and 110 watt solar panel. This is our toilet cassette point. And then here we have our electric hookup cable. We've currently unhooked ourselves for the review. That's where you're going to plug in though. Coming along, there is a window here and that leads into the lounge area. We're going to see the rear lounge, the Carerra name, the 144, and then the Swifts as well. You'll find the Swifts dotted about within the camper. Coming round to the rear, so it is the standard Ducato rear. For the 2026 season, they have added a new rear view camera. I've tested that out on our trip. It does actually give you a really good view. Then we've got these nicely dark tinted windows at the back, the campervan doors, and as well as the rear view camera, we also have reversing sensors as well. I'll open the back doors just so we can take a look inside. Now, this is the rear lounge, as I mentioned. One thing you'll notice is there's no fixed bed and there's no garage as such, so you have to consider whether a lounge is going to be good for you or a transverse bed at the back. There is a fly screen, so if you are sat with the back doors open, you can pull that across. This is the gas locker. It'll take 2 3.9 kilo gas bottles. You access that under here, so access through there. Then we can see into the rear of the camper. If I press this, you'll see access under there. There's not really any storage under that point. And then in the door, one feature that I do like is this drop down table. So if you push that up like that with that little catch and drop that down, if you are sat outside or you're sat here on this seat, you have got somewhere to put your drinks. There's also elastic bands within both sides of the doors. So if you're needing just to keep things secure, you can do that there and there. When you finish with that, fold it back up and then that's going to clip back into place. So that's your little shelf. You will find you get the concertina blind And there's also a fly screen as well. And these back windows do open up as well for ventilation. Right, I'll close that up. So that is a look into our rear lounge. And as I say, we're going to see a little bit more when we go inside. You will notice what Jules and I have done here, because of the sort of storage constraints, we've got our self-leveling ramps there, our leveling ramps, sorry, there at the moment. So they're kept there. Close that up. So that's our rear end. Let's head off down the near side. So on the near side, we have got an external gas point here. So if you're wanting to barbecue outside, you can. The windows again with the dark tint, and this is our water filling point. On board, a 93 litre fresh tank and a 58 litre grey waste tank. You dump these if you need to with an electric dump that's inside, and the grey waste dumping point is actually over on the offside. Then we come here to the side. There is an LED strip light running across there. That turns on inside. An electric step. And then we have our diesel filling point. A 60 litre diesel tank, 19 litre AdBlue. When you're ready to go inside, obviously, you slide open the door. What that is going to reveal is a further fly screen here. So if you have got this open in good weather, you've got your fly screen. And then there's another little drop down table. So this is another nice feature on a nice day when you're sat out on your pitch. And this is pretty much what Yorkshire will be like in August. So bring your coat and just expect this. But when you sat out, somewhere to put your drinks or your sandwiches, whatever it might be. Then we have the button for the electric step. Out it comes like that. And then we've also got a plug socket here. So it might be that you want to plug something out here, could even be an air fryer or something, or you want to charge bits and pieces outside. So that's what you've got there. Let's fold that up. Right, I'm going to take my coat off and we're going to dive inside. Right, let's start at the front of the 144. Fiat multifunctional steering wheel. This one has the leather finish. Automatic, as I've already said, because that's the optional extra, and then the large infotainment system, and I believe that does have Apple CarPlay as well. At the front here, it has got the standard Fiat dash, but you will get a nice blind in the front and the side windows. I really like this blind. Now, previously, my experience of Fiat Ducato blinds at the front have been the two that you pull together. This one, if I just gracefully stand up and move forward, you actually slide up this way and then it curves round and then it clips onto that finish there. So this is a new design that I personally haven't had experience of before. I really like that. It's much easier for me to pull up than trying to get the two to meet in the middle and reach each side. Right, I'll lower that back down. So that is the front blind, and then as I say, the cab blind. So I like that. Now both these chairs, they do swivel round. You don't have to swivel them because if you are just a couple, you have got plenty of seats within this camper van. But if you want to, you can. Now we can see the upholstery here. We've got Carerra embossed in the seat. We have got the rubber finish on the armrests. Personally, I prefer those fabric, but on the camper van, we've got that in the standard finish. And then coming along, we are into this dining area. Now this bench seat forward facing, you've also got two travel seats that we can see there. And this will actually convert into a bed. This is your third berth. In terms of size, it's 5 feet and 7 inches long and it's 2 feet and 11 inches wide. So really, it's only suitable for a child or a small adult. But again, we've got that there. Coming along, you'll see the Swifts again here, embossed there and there. Seat belts, the fabric. There is a USB-A charging point there, and there's also a table that will affix here. So if you are wanting to use this as a dining area, you do get that table. I'll show you where that's stored as we move further into the camper van. Also under here, if I press this button, you've got access into the under part there. You could store items there, but I'd be really careful with that electrical wiring loom. In terms of the heating on board, you will get the Whale air-blown heating. That works on electric when you're on electric hookup, or it'll run off gas when you're off grid. So you've got the option. You've also got the water heating tank as well. Now this one here that we've got from Swift to trial has got the carpets down as well. So it's up to you whether you have the carpet or the flooring. We can see there the dark wood flooring. I like the dark wood personally. I tend to have flooring over carpet. Right, so that's this area. As I say, dining area with the table or a berth. Let me stand up and we'll look at these lockers. Now, overhead, you'll see an LED light strip running here. The lighting's really nice, and it is obviously low energy consumption lighting. The cupboards, if I open these up, those are some of my items in there that I brought on our trip. They do slope downwards though, which is I found quite strange. That's to give slightly more head space here, but they have got this downward sloping. If I just close those up and we can have a look at the finish, really nice strong clasps. We have the wood, the chrome strip, and then this darker finish as well, leading down into the window that does open with a blind and a fly screen. You'll notice I'm on the sort of next tier up. This is the amount of headroom I've got on this higher tier. I'll show you the lower tier soon. Sunroof here, good size. It does open. There's a blind and a fly screen. And then at the front of the cab, we have this really nice sunroof. This is nice. When Jules and I were driving along, we both said it was nice to have this light coming in so we didn't feel too confined. There is a blind on here, a concertina blind. So one for privacy, but two, if it's a hot day, you can pull that up. These are just fixed panels on there. So that's this area. Under here, you will find a television point, and I would suggest this is where you're going to be able to put a bracket for the television if you want one up at the front. There's also a little light switch here for further lighting under the cabinets. Right, I'll step down, I'll let you come in, and then we'll talk about the control panel, and then we'll move into the kitchen area. So as you come in, let's talk about the controls on the SWIFT CARRERA. These are really easy to use. Even I've been using them, no problem. To be fair, I love a control panel. This one, if I touch it, this is the SWIFT control, lighting, power, water, and the outside temperature and inside as well. So the Campervan controls are here. Then we have a couple of light switches, and then this control is for the whale heating, and this one for the whale water. You can choose electric or gas, so you choose which power source, and then obviously the amount of heat or hot water levels that you want. Press the buttons, lights on and off. That's for the outside as well. On this one, you can turn it on and off, and that's obviously going to turn the lighting on and the lighting off. Turn those back on. So that's the panel there, very simple to use. You can see out as well when we've got the sliding door open, that nice view wherever you might have arrived. So lovely view out. Now coming along, I'd already mentioned that you do have your fly screen there. Then we're into the kitchen space. So let's talk about what you've got here. First of all, we have got a bin space. At first I did wonder where the bin was, and here it is. So you've got a bin space there. And then you have this pull out worktop extension. So we slide this out, you can see the size of that. It's really heavy actually. And then slide it in the little holes there, and we now have a worktop extension. Coming along, if I lift this and then this is our kitchen sink. So we've got a hot and cold water tap here, sink space, and then 2 gas burners. Close that down. Under there, we have 2 plug sockets. So you could put your kettle or what have you on there, which is what I've been doing. And then here we have our kitchen cupboard. So again, we've got some bits here. We've got the electric for the dropping of the water. And then the aerial that comes with it comes in through this cupboard here. I'll close that up. And then down here, we'll find a couple of light switches. You've got 2 little LEDs here. And these switches also operate some low-level lighting as well. Now continuing along, in the kitchen, there is a kitchen cupboard. Now this is quite interesting. So we've got some bits and pieces in here. This is a nice shelving area. Down here, now I always say when you go to a campsite, you're going to need water in your camper. Where do you put your hose pipe? Because we haven't got the garage space. So this cupboard here has been used to put the hose in and some toilet chemicals as well. So where you use your storage to store things obviously is up to you, but this is a thing to consider with a camper van, is where you're going to put everything. So that is where that is in there. And then coming along, we have a gas grill and oven. So that's a dual appliance powered solely off the gas. And this is a useful drawer. So we have a slide out drawer here, push that across. And then in here we have our cutlery tray. So in there, cutlery, close that up, and then we'll move back. So coming along, we next have our compressor fridge. Now this is a dometic appliance, 90 litres. Now a compressor fridge works solely off electric. So whether you're on or off grid, this is running through basically your 12-volt system. I'll open this up so you can have a look in. So in there, you will get a small freezer compartment and then the shelving. So those are the items that Jules and I have got in. I'll close that up. There we go. It is the dometic that opens on both sides as well, so you can access that each way. And then under here, we've got a good sized storage cupboard, and you'll see a rail so you can hang things. Now again, Jules and I have put some bits in there. Now this is the leg of the table for the lounge, and then the actual sort of tabletop for the lounge table is situated there. Now, one thing I've found is, whilst that's great in that it's out of the way, if you actually want to access your table, you've got to empty everything out of your cupboard, whether that be your clothes or the bits that I've put in. So that's a little bit of a compromise for me. In here, we have our washroom. I'll do this before we dive into the lounge area. Now this little washroom, nice and compact, you'll see that there is the shower head, a folding sink, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. Then coming down, there's a toilet roll holder, the Thetford swivel toilet, and then the shower with the 2 plug holes. So that's a quick look. Let me go in and talk us through it. So coming in, now one thing I've noticed, we've got the marble effect on the walls, as you can see. Then you've also got the marble effect on the ceiling. So I think it's quite unusual to have the same effect on the wall as the ceiling, but then there is a white strip here which isn't marbled. So it's marbled everywhere else apart from that strip, which I would have liked to have seen it all the way around. Coming round, there is our cabinet, our bathroom cabinet. Here you push that in, so we've got this black effect. Now, one thing you're going to notice straight away, what do I always say? And look what's happened. As I open it, all my toiletries have fallen out. And I know we've gone about these things, but a simple bar across there would literally have stopped all those things falling out and causing any damage or landing on me. There's a little strip here, but then nothing across there. So I think that's needed. What is good though is the height, because sometimes cabinets aren't always high enough for higher deodorants or moisturisers. So there's a good height there, but no bar. So that's what I would have liked to have seen. And also, for me, I would have liked a mirror there, not this black, further mirroring, just to give you the use of the mirror and to make this feel a little bit larger. There is a mirror here, this is fixed. Then we've got this bar light up here. And then coming down, there's more lighting here. This little shelf's quite useful. I've been using that. And then the drop down sink, you just pull that down. And then this tap does swivel, just to show you that. So you can fold it out of the way if needs be. And then say the swivel loo there. I'll just fold this back up. Right, so that's back out of the way. And then the toilet roll holder's just under there. There is also a vent for the air blown heating. It's a lovely warm bathroom as well. It's been really nice and warm in here. The door, if you go that way, I'll demonstrate this. The door, you slide this across and it's going to close, and it's got a magnet to keep it shut. When you are using the bathroom, just be careful that when you sat on the loo, you can close the door, because this is quite a small space, a little bit compromised, if again I'm being honest, but just make sure you check it yourself. There is a bar in the ceiling there of the washroom where you can hang your towels, that black bar, and that's where the light switch is as well. In terms of hanging space, I've already said I've got a towel hung up in there. There's that second bar for your towels. And then just here, now whether you put coats or tea towels on here, you've got another little hook there. I personally would have liked another hook up at the front above the seat belts where I could have put my coat there. I think just another coat hook holder would have been really useful there. So that is the front space, and now we're going to move back into this lounge area. Now, I've never tried a rear lounge to actually take it away and use it. So this has been really good, a great opportunity. So let's go through what are some really great positives. First of all, relaxation. It's a 6-metre camper van, yet when you've arrived on site, whether you sit, you're back here, there, wherever you're sitting, you can get your feet up and relax. And you've also got a beautiful view around you. I appreciate it's not the best weather day in the world, but you can still, and there's a jet going over, you can still enjoy, you can always enjoy the RAF in the back of your camper van, but you can still enjoy the beautiful view out, and it is really relaxing. So this is the benefit of the rear lounge. Yes, you've lost your garage, but not a problem. Now let's talk about the seating. This is a really good length of seat here. My feet are just off the floor. Personally, I'm only 5'4", but that's how I feel. Nice amount of sort of backrest as well, really comfortable. Jules and I sat out on here last night. One of the things that I've noticed, now this is the dining table. You can see the leg here and the extension. One thing I noticed when I was sat with my back against it, it was a little bit uncomfortable. Now I appreciate it's a good place to put it, but would it be a consideration to actually have a drop down table in the dining room that's actually already prefixed to the wall? I don't know, or whether you just leave that up. Obviously that's another option, but yeah, just something to consider. When it's there, it is a little bit, your back's up against that, but good use, I suppose, of that wall space. Coming round, we have a window at each side. You'll get a blind and a fly screen, and again the window's open. Another bonus that I found in the Carrera is there's USB and USB-C charging points everywhere. Excellent. Another little light switch there for this. Fabrics, we've got Carerra embossed on there, and then we've got the little cushions with the Swifts as well. More elastic bands. Jules found this quite useful for putting a bottle of water in there last night, but again, you can put what you want in there. I'll talk about this storage, then we'll talk about the bed and go from there. So standing up, there are these overhead lockers. You pull this clasp towards you and the lockers will open. Just be careful of these on the speakers because they do come up to that point, but nice amount of storage in the back. And then closing that down, I'll show you some storage under the bench seat as well. Now this is really useful. So if I push this and drop this, you'll find a slide out drawer. Now we've put some of our bedding in here because one of the things I was going to thinking was, that's great, but where's all the bedding going? When you put your bed away, you need somewhere to put it. And this is what we found. This drawer's been really useful as a bedding drawer. So I'll close that up. Now, when you're using this as a lounge, well, I've already showed you the table that was under there, the leg and the top. That is actually going to go into the lounge floor. You'll see that space there. So you'll put the table leg into there and then the top on it, and then you can manoeuvre around it. So that's what's going to happen there. This on a night becomes your bedroom. So the compromise is you do have to make your bed up on a night time. So it's one in, all in really. You can't then use it as a lounge. In terms of the bed size, it's 6 feet and 1 inch in length, and it's 4 feet and 4 inches in width. Jules and I made it up last night, slept on it. It was actually fairly comfy and it was fairly easy to make. To make your bed, you are going to have to remove your cushions. This is the slatted part that's going to fold out to the other side. You do have to drop this little flap here, and then when folded out, it's going to make that 6'1" length double bed. Whoever's near the doors will have to climb over the person that's at this side, but we tested it last night, not a problem. Now on here, you'll see another board. If you want to put a television back here, which I think this is probably where most people may put their TV as opposed to up at the front, we've got a plug socket, a television point, and more of the USB-C chargers. So I think bracket on here, television there. We've bobbed our pillows on there. So let me just move these and sit down. So what do I think to the rear lounge? As I say, we've never used a rear lounge. This is really nice. I can see why people do like this because you can sit here, relax and have this great view. The bed wasn't a massive problem to make up, but it's just one of those considerations. The good thing is on a morning you have got the dining room area, so if needs be, if only one of you gets up, you have got somewhere to go and sit with your cup of tea, which is just what I did this morning. The heating system, it's the whale heating system. The air blown, you will notice the noise. It is a fairly noisy system in my opinion. However, it appears to be incredibly effective in this camper van. We got it going last night. Now the air blower back here, there aren't many vents, but they do seem to do the job. There's a vent down there. Now once we made the bed, I was a little bit concerned that all the heat would be trapped under the bed, but it seemed to come up really nicely through the cushions to heat us from underneath. This back end was lovely and warm, and then there's a couple of further vents further down the camper as well. So the heating system is excellent. The compressor fridge, if you've not had one before, they are quite noisy. There is nighttime settings, but realistically you'll leave it on and you will notice a noise. That is just one thing to think about with a compressor, but it is totally normal. So if you've never had one, that's just something to be aware of. So there we go. Let's just do a little summary. So the back end is your lounge. Really nice little space, lovely and comfortable. Television point. The only thing we thought this was lacking was a little shelf on each side, because we charged our phones up last night and there was nowhere to put the phone. So we ended up having to open this cupboard, put the lead up there and put our phones up in this cupboard, which wasn't really ideal. Equally, if you were sat here with a drink, it might be nice just to have a little shelf somewhere here where you could put a drink on as well. That's maybe more just a personal thing, but otherwise, love the storage, really liked how this worked for us. Coming through the washroom. It's a 6-metre camper. I know there's only so much they can do. The size of this is a little bit of a compromise. Make sure you can sit on that loo and close the screen. But otherwise, you have got all your facilities on board. This all seems to work well. I had my kettle here this morning, was able to open the window that's actually in the sliding door to let the condensation out as well. So that worked nicely. And then this space, this is a nice open area. Found this again, as you can see here, nice and open. I appreciate the table isn't here at the moment. It's up to you whether you put that out. But this is, again, yeah, a good amount of storage as well throughout the camper. Right, I'm going to bundle myself out this way. There we go. So that is the SWIFT Carrera 144, new for 2026. There are a number of other models within the range. I'm going to put a link in the description to the Swift website so you can explore all of them. Let me know what you think in the comments as well. If you've got a camper van, is it a transverse bed for you? Is it longitudinal? Is it a lounge? What do you like? This has been our first experience of a camper this size. We've previously tried a smaller VW type, so to try a panel van camper has been really enjoyable actually. It's been a bit of an eye-opener as well. So yeah, there we go. Right, well thank you to Swift who've lent us this to test it out and review it. As always, it is one of the honest reviews. We say how we've found things because we hope that's what helps you as well. So as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.